Working.
What? Sandwich time!
Ah!
Anybody got a banh mi? Anybody got a banh mi? Oh, Jiminy Jones over here has got himself a banh mi sandwich.
Yeah,
Another
one wasn't
sandwich for
enough.
today. Not one sandwich, but two sandwich.
Yes.
Very delicious.
Is it sandwich eye?
Internet.
Choke him to death.
Internet. All right. What's up, Internet? What's going on?
Froggy
it Tuesday?
Froggy Tuesday.
Froggy Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hwah. It's Froggy
Hey-ya.
Tuesday. What's going on? Welcome to the show. Welcome to our special guest, Jimmy's Banh Mi Sandwich. Thanks for coming out today and hanging out with us. Oh, wait. Hey, Corey's here. What's going on?
Oh,
Hey, man. Have you ever been to the aquariumcoop.com? You should check it out. Have you ever been there?
Not anymore.
Not recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not in the last 10 minutes.
12.
Yeah.
I'd say 12 minutes.
I had to get
Yeah.
the show ready, so, you know.
We had to get the show ready.
Yeah.
And then the UPS guy came a-running.
He did.
And came a-blasting
And
around.
my little Tinky, as she's called, had all the hairs risen up. She was, oh, man.
Razorback
She usually
dog.
doesn't get that. I don't know. That guy, he was delivering Puro Clean.
Oh, you know how it is.
Yeah.
When you're dropping off that filtration, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
She
You-
was not having it. Filtration in my yard? No.
Filtration damn near killed him.
Yeah. She was, normally she's just like, bark. But no, she was like on the, no, that guy, he's not.
Well, he was ringing the doorbell, so you know.
He did ring the doorbell. Most times they just like leave it there, but the doorbell's like an air raid siren to those dogs.
That pretty much works for everybody's dog. Everybody's dog freaks out when the bell goes off.
Yeah.
What are these bells?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Luckily, I have one installed in the fish room, so that way I knew to come a running.
If something's happening,
Yeah.
something's rogue.
That's one of the things when your fish room becomes a different building. I had to put in,
Right.
because a lot of times I'm the only one here, and I pretty much have to live out here because that's where I work. So, oh, it's ringing, and then people are always like, you can tell the look on their face. They're like, "Are you ever gonna answer this door?" I'm like, there's another building. I was
Yeah.
in the other building. I sprinted.
And you're like, don't worry.
Yeah, they probably just think I'm really overweight and out of shape because I show up at the door like, all right, what do you need?
Yeah.
And they're thinking I just got off the couch. Meanwhile, I literally sprinted.
Acting.
Yeah. These dogs are difficult to wrangle.
Yeah. Some of you guys have noticed that this is Real Fish Talk round 2. I'm glad that a lot of people showed up for the 2-hour show this morning. Let us know if that is something that you guys are enjoying. You know, like, just let us know if you like the 2-hour
I'm going to leave you a
format.
comment.
We will be
I
uploading
enjoy
that
it.
stuff to the podcast. So the audio,
Probably
right?
later tonight.
Probably later. So those
I just
podcast
I
listeners
haven't
that are
had time since we did it.
exclusive podcasters, it
Yeah.
will be going up. We'll be doing
I
it.
think
We'll be.
podcastineers is the correct term.
What's the word?
Podcastineers?
Podcasting ears.
No, nears.
Nears.
Like pioneers, but podcastineers.
Oh, podcast nears. Like Rocketeers?
But there's an extra in there.
Like Rocketeers?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Podcastineers.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're podcasting ears and that's right here,
Yeah.
I mean, Rocketeers is almost. I mean, a rocket pack. I mean, you could fly.
Well, sure, but I'm fresh out of rocket packs, and I happen to have a podcast, so I'm a podcastineer.
So we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just saying that, like, maybe if there was a scale.
Oh, I wasn't debating the scale. I can't. I'm ascending that scale. The hope is we're such good podcastineers, we get filthy rich, and then buy those water jetpacks until they make real jetpacks that we can not die from.
I'm not interested in those water jetpacks. That does not look. I am. It looks fun for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And, you know, me being a person that has been towed behind a boat at extremely high speeds.
Against your will.
No, I signed up for it. I mean, let's be honest here. I don't. Yeah.
I've never done
At this
it,
point,
so-
I'm like, I just don't. It just.
Not all of us have
It's
lived
just
your
gonna
life,
be
man.
It's just gonna be
Not all of us
uncomfortable.
have lived your life.
That's true.
I've never been pulled behind a boat before.
I haven't.
No.
No.
Yeah.
We should do that quite a bit.
Like I said, must be nice.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So as you guys noticed, we're back here in the aquarium coop.
I wouldn't say
Dungeon?
back here. I don't think we've left.
Oh. We're back here. Well,
We didn't leave.
we didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, we disappeared.
Yeah.
For as far as the internet's
A
concerned.
momentary break.
As far as the internet's concerned, we disappeared,
Yeah.
and then now have reappeared.
I mean, we should make up excuses like we were at karate lessons.
We were at karate lessons. That's
Yeah.
not an excuse. That's an
Fair.
explanation,
Yeah.
right?
We've made it so big they come to us. We have a private karate lesson.
Well, we have
Here
a
at the
private
co-op.
instructor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They drive
Well,
us.
sensei. You know.
I didn't want to give out his name.
Right. Oh no, he's been exposed on the
That's right.
internet.
Oh,
Well, how do you know it's a he?
Man, we're just dropping.
Hey man,
hints
it's
left and right.
2017, right? You know, there could be female senseis. Or is it
Can
kung
there?
fu? Are we in kung fu or
Well,
karate
now I'm
class? I'm
wondering,
not sure.
like, does sensei apply to both sexes?
'Cause
Or
I
is
figured-
it like one of those words, or like, oh no, a female at that level is called a. Like, I don't know. It might not be sensei.
I think it's the same thing, right? Because I think it just means like master.
Yeah, that's what I would think, but it could
Right.
be one of those weird ones.
I didn't say that out loud.
Jiminy Christmas.
But the what's the oh, what happened? Oh, I was gonna say that I think if there was a martial art that all three of us were gonna sign up for, I think it would be jujitsu. Is probably the one that we'd
Yeah.
sign up for, right?
I could throw people into a mat.
Yeah, or judo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could go
Judo's
take some
above the
judo
aquarium
classes.
co-op.
What's that?
Brilliant Jiu-Jitsu is above the aquarium co-op.
Oh, is there one right above? Is there
Well, not it's like above and one over.
Like one
but
over,
yes,
yeah,
it's,
but yeah,
it's
yeah.
within 3
Walking?
minutes. Yeah,
It's
like, you got to
like-
walk up a flight of stairs and you'll be there.
I don't know.
It's tough.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll
Sensei is gender
do the
neutral, we're told.
stairs. Oh,
You were correct.
it's gender neutral. All right.
Yeah. Fair.
Right on.
I didn't want to assume.
Wushu Jimmy Brown says Joel water skiing is a scene out of Weekend at Bernie's. I used to water ski all the time. I used to water ski quite a bit.
In Washington.
Eastern Washington, yeah.
Oh.
Well, and Western Washington when it was nice.
Yeah.
And we did it in the Puget Sound quite a bit too in the wintertime. And I'm gonna tell you, that's cold, bud.
Yeah.
It's cold.
That doesn't seem enjoyable.
But we'd wear the dry suit, so basically your head, your hands, and your feet would be super cold, and then the rest of your body would just
So
be
all the important parts,
unhappy.
pretty much, like all the parts that really feel extreme pain and cold and
Yeah.
suffering. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite things was we used to go out to my buddy Nick growing up. They lived out on Dogfish Bay, which so you have to go across the Puget Sound to go over to that, right?
All right. I'll take your word for it.
And we'd go catch big giant dogfish by hand because the tide would go way out, and then we'd run out into the mud flats, and the dogfish aren't that smart.
Yeah, they're dogs.
Well, yeah, they're dogs and fish. And
No,
then
they're
you
dogs.
combine the two, and it's not that bright. They'd get stuck on those. They'd get stuck, and they'd just wait in the mud flat. Like, man, I hope the water comes back, bro.
Yeah.
So we'd go down there, and we'd pick up like those big 4-footers, and like, you know, because we're kids. You know, we're like,
Yeah.
11. Like, what are we gonna do with this big giant dogfish? They're not edible, so we would take them and then like throw them back in the water and watch them swim off. But they're just too stupid. They'd swim off all super slow. Like, oh, I guess I'm back in the water now.
I'm pretty sure Danks Tanks inadvertently came up with the karate we would all be, or the martial art we'd all be a part of, and that's Rex Kwon Do.
Rex.
He didn't say that, but he said a line that made me think of it, and I think we could all participate in Rex Kwon Do,
I think we could get into that.
Yeah.
I think we could get
Yeah.
into that.
for sure.
So yeah, hopefully we've warmed up with our nonsense here.
vocals, we are ready.
Do we have to do the requisite like hit the like button, hit the subscribe button?
I think you
don't
do,
know.
because we
I
had
think-
like 400 and some people watching earlier, and like no one hit the like button, but none of us told people to. So
Right.
if you want likes, tell them to hit the like
I guess
button.
you're supposed to like
if you
remind
don't
people.
care, then don't.
Right. I don't know. I guess we're supposed to hit the like button. Tell the
Hit that
algorithm.
like button.
We got to tell the algorithm, hey man, spread it.
I want you to windmill hit it though. Like
Right.
I can't do it in here because there's too much stuff, but I want you to. Bam.
Right. Because we hit a bit of a milestone today. I don't even know if it's a milestone or anything like that, but we went over 7,000 subscribers today on this channel.
That's a milestone.
I mean, it only took 9 years, so it's just under 1,000
we
subscribers
might
a year.
get you to 10,000 by 10 years.
We got 3,000 to go.
I can help with that. We can do that. we can
get
pull
there.
that off.
We get there one way or another. It's gonna
Yeah.
take.
I mean, I might have to.
It's
buy
gonna
them.
take another 1,500 shows. You know.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have to.
it's 5
Put
a
our-
day. We're already up to 2 a day
Have to
almost.
grind down.
Yeah, we're scaling up. We're just getting warmed up here.
We're just getting rolling. We got to warm up these computers, man. We got to flood that carburetor. So that's where we're at. We hit a bit of a milestone today. Although Corey and I were doing the math the other day, right? We were doing the math the other day on realistically how many like ecology-minded possible fish tank fans, possible shrimp fans, possible whatever.
216.
What?
216.
People? That's it?
Yeah.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So we somehow have more than that.
These are people we've converted from other genres of entertainment.
There's 216 people? That's it?
216 is the people that like what you just listed off, that list of stuff.
Right.
Everyone
it?
else is like, they either love tacos or Rex Kwon Do
Or Rex Kwon Do.
or fireworks at night, that type of thing.
Fireworks in the middle of the evening in
Yeah.
your living room?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, not a good idea. Your house burns down.
What about if I do it in the shower? Not turned on.
Not turned on. That's the only safety factor of lighting off fireworks in the shower.
But you're close to a water source.
Okay.
I mean, do you ever?
You might as
are
well
you
turn
ever
it
in
on
your own
ahead.
bathtub and then try to get ground flowers to float on top of the water as they're going? Or is that just me?
I've never tried that. That's pretty
where
chaotic.
else do you hone your skill? If you want to look like you're a savage when you're out on the lake on 4th of July and get them to dance on top of the water,
Yeah. That's where you
you
hone your
practice in
skill.
your own bathtub
wanna
while
be-
you're sitting in it.
Is that one of your goals in life?
That's not my goal. That's just what my training regiment.
Your training regimen. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Well,
I mean, I have a courier deliver what is known as a brick of ground flowers every month.
like a courier?
Yeah,
A
'cause
courier.
Everyone
courier?
knows it's illegal.
You don't say delivery man, you say courier?
You have to hire a courier when you're moving explosives.
Oh, he's
You
got to
can't
be like
ship them in the mail.
it's got to be certified like Pony Express.
Yes.
Is he on a horse?
No,
No.
you don't travel fireworks by horse.
I would
They
imagine that you
show
would.
up in a pretty nondescript vehicle.
Okay.
They
Nondescript.
kind of.
Like a white van?
I mean, they could, but sometimes they just show up in like their Ford Focus.
Really? That's pretty.
Yeah, it's like the Amazon delivery people
Seems
that
like
are
this-
contracted out.
This is pretty laid back regulations, I'm thinking here.
No,
No?
because you can drive to like Idaho, buy fireworks, and drive. Well, legally you can't drive them back, but you could do that. Like you
Right.
could. Okay, you could live in Idaho, buy fireworks, and drive to like somewhere else in Idaho. I don't know if they're legal in Idaho. I'm just saying a state where they are legal.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could do that. But we do have a super chat here. We do want to
Let's do this.
grab this super chat real quick here from David Linder 0987. It's a very
Yes.
specific David Linder.
Overhand or underhand for the ground flower toss is what he asks.
That's not what he asked. Actually, it's a good question. Not only is it a good question, it's a super chat. So there's a $5 super chat from David
All right.
Linder. It's a very specific David Linder, too. Like I said, 0987. So not to be confused with 0435 or 12...
He has that
5,
tattooed, by
6.
the way.
What's that?
He has that number tattooed on him because he ran into too many other David Linders.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
a barcode in there, too.
The problem with the barcode when you get that tattooed, if you lose weight or gain weight or are in the sun too much, it's really hard to scan.
You can't scan it.
Yeah.
It doesn't scan properly.
I mean, it's really hard to adhere to. And the other thing, too, like USA and non-USA have different barcodes.
That's right. They have different
So-
barcodes. You might scan in the wrong thing.
Whereas, like, numbers, they're universal. You move to the UK, those numbers are still those numbers. But a barcode, this scanner doesn't read this at all.
That's a good point. You got a good point.
Yeah.
But David was asking, thanks for all you guys do for the hobby. That's an exclamation mark, not a question. But here comes the question. What's the best way to support you guys? Patreon, YouTube, or Aquarium Co-op orders? And I would say all of the above.
That's right. I think if you had to pick one, Patreon puts the most of your dollars into
bang for the buck.
Joel's pocket or my pocket. That being said, I don't want to say you're getting the least, but like if you were to buy something from Aquarium Co-op, you're exchanging probably more dollars, but it's also supporting. So like maybe if you give Joel $5, that's one thing. But if you spend $50, maybe it's like putting $5 towards the show anyway. But then you got Dechlorinator and that kind of stuff too. YouTube doesn't really pay us. I gotta be honest. We don't really get paid. But if you wanted to help with YouTube, share it. Like way more people watching. Yeah. I mean, yeah, YouTube's just it's a poor way. Like if your goal is, you know, that's like saying like, what's the best way to dig a hole? And then you're like, okay, I've got like a normal shovel, I've got a snow shovel, and then you've got like a plastic spork. That's YouTube. Like you can technically dig a hole, but man, that is
it's gonna take
the weakest tool of what you just listed to do it. And we don't get me wrong, I love plastic sporks, and a lot of them adds up to some money for dang sure. But really sharing. So, you know, in a perfect world,
like let's say we have 7,000 people, like subscribers on my channel, right? Because we hit that goal today, right? So let's say that.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, 7,000 of those people would go, they come watch the video, and then they go to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever and go, hey, I watched this today. I was cracking up about karate nonsense. These guys are dorks. Check them out. And then 7,000 people like shared it out. And then you go, well, then it was exposed to 7,000 more people, right? And then then the whole thing. As you all know, we don't necessarily live in a perfect world, and that is fine, because that's probably the stuff that we really like the most. So existing within the YouTube world, I love YouTube. I think it's an awesome format. It is a fantastic site. It is run fairly well. I mean, I say probably 90% of the decisions they make are like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, like, yeah, all right. 10%? Well, I'm not 100% sure.
Well, they're a business,
right?
You know?
So, you know, but you know, they are a business. But you know, it's like sometimes we have criticisms for YouTube and this and that. But honestly, YouTube is really cool. It's a fantastic service and all that kind of stuff, and I enjoy it very much. It's where I get most of. You know, it's where I get most of my news or my entertainment. Not all of it, but a big portion of it. So with that being said, it is a huge company that has a lot of things that go into it, and it, which means there's a lot of hands in the pie, essentially. Is that, you know, the advertising dollar isn't all dedicated to everybody or any of that kind of stuff. So one of the reasons that we started Patreon and we started patronizing is not only because it is a way of us to directly support other people. Like, you guys can go on there and notice that I'm a Patreon of other YouTubers and stuff like that. Like Priscilla MK is a fellow artist, and I'm like, hey, that's somebody I want to help support too. Patreon allows me to do that. So that's why Patreon page is there, is that not only can we reach out to other patronizers, but we can also go, hey, if you guys want to chip in $1, $2, $10 or whatever for the entertainment that you get, you could throw it in there, and most of it goes to the person who's making stuff, right? Yeah. And that's why I think it's really cool. But there's the reason that my initial response was all of the above is great, because everyone has a different ability to support, right? Some people can hit the like button and maybe don't even want to chat or comment or anything like that. But they're just like click, and that's all they want to do. And it's like, kudos, that's your deal. Some people like to share out stuff on Facebook. Like Nisi of the North in the chat here, she runs a live stream. She helps run a live stream page on Facebook that just lets people know when the live streams are going to come up. Yeah. And that kind of stuff. Whereas some people like LG3 Nation was able to super chat $7.77.
Like
and
I said,
congrats
it's that odd
on
number. It's that odd number.
It's that odd number.
That $2 one threw me for a loop. I tell you
for
what.
a loop earlier today.
Yeah.
So LG3 Nation is able to super chat, and that's one of the ways that they support. So it's really like that community effort. Like a lot of people can do certain things, a lot of people can do other things, and it's all appreciated realistically. We have a lot of fans here that you know, for instance, are like 17 years old and they don't have any money. They're like, I don't have any money.
But they don't have like a credit card.
Right.
Like they could have physical dollars, but like,
right.
I can't get them to Joel, even if they want to be like, hey, here's $1, man, thanks.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, that's one of those things that like come into chat, hitting the like button, sharing things out, all that kind of stuff. It's all really cool. And I do know that personally, the long-term goal, realistically, it would be to take the burden off of the fans, right? As far as like funding stuff, that is the long-term goal. For me, one of those avenues is getting a lot of people on Patreon, right? Because like we're really close to 200 people on Patreon. Obviously, that is fantastic and super awesome and way encouraging. Whereas if I went to a company and said, hey, I've got 10,000 subscribers, right? And they go, okay, I don't know what that means.
You bought them on Fiverr. I know it.
Right.
Like, there's no proof.
But if you go, hey, I've got 10,000 patrons, right, on Patreon, they could go, oh, you actually have 10,000 fans. Like, because they're legitimately like, here you go. I process this many people. And, you know, it won't give out anyone's information or anything like that, but Patreon will be a third party that could verify that you go, yes, they have 10,304 patrons, right? And could tell a company like Chevy Trucks or something that like, yeah, you're going to probably reach 10,000 people because there's 10,000 people paying attention.
Yes.
And we go like, yeah, Chevy Trucks are super awesome in the mud.
Like I said, one day I want to get you a truck for free somehow. It doesn't have to be like an amazing truck, but I want to make it to the level where they're like, it makes sense to give Joel a truck because he got rear-ended.
We want a Ford. Oh man, what's it called? I want the Ford.
Raptor?
No.
Nah, man.
I want the opposite of the Raptor. I want the
like the 150.
It's like it's like the fleet van. What's it called? Oh, it's got a name. Oh no, I can't remember what it's called.
Transit Connect.
Like the Transit.
Okay,
yeah, like the Ford Transit. That's what I want.
Ford, if you're listening,
if Ford's
hijacking his show, I would love a Ford Transit. No joke.
Yeah,
I would love one.
Just be, you know,
I'll take a used one.
I don't need to go 120 miles an hour.
I need the opposite.
I just need to be able to go.
I need to haul stuff.
The speed limit and haul a bunch of stuff in the back.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do. So
if you're listening, Ford, that's how you could give back to us.
Yeah. So sorry about that. We don't want to get super sidetracked from the topic here, but as you guys know, we're kind of loose and stuff like that. On my show, you know, we're halfway focused. You know, it's been I don't know. We were busting up drywall and doing all that kind of stuff today, so a little distracted.
I posted a picture on Instagram.
And being goofy.
And someone was like, whoa, you weren't joking. You actually are tearing down a wall. And I was like, yeah that's what I said.
Yeah, we're literally tearing
down walls to build a studio. I mean, I don't know if that was figurative, but we're literally tearing down walls.
Right. Yeah, it's literal. It's not.
Like, we did dump runs with wall remnants.
What's a wall? To the dumb stuff. So so today's topic, and I haven't noticed that anybody was really freaking out in the chat right now about going like, hey man, where's the topic? What are you guys doing? But today's topic is we're going to run over some of the ins and outs of operating a large fish room. Now, I know that some people out there would go, well, a large fish room, what is that, like 100 tanks or something like that? No, there isn't necessarily a minimum, right? Because you could
I would say one is the minimum.
You could, well, I get two's the minimum, right? For it to be a fish room.
I don't know, but
I think two.
It's definitely not a fish room if there's no fish tanks in it.
Well, yeah, for sure, zero is no good. But I think if it's one, then you just have a fish tank in a room. But then if you have multiple, now it becomes a fish room, right? I think.
All right.
I think 2 tanks or above. Because you could go, hey, I've got 900 1-gallon aquariums in a fish room, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go like, whoa, that's cool. That's 900 gallon right there.
800.
I know, what plus the inner workings and
Yeah, if
everything.
you include the sum, it's actually
And
more
over
like
there.
1100, yeah.
You guys don't know what's going on over there, but that's at least 100 gallons of water.
Going on over there.
That's at least 100 gallons of water over there, too. Well, I was just saying, like, this is at least 900 gallons of water, right?
Yeah.
So those two things are wildly different, realistically, when you get down to it. That if you start thinking, okay, well, wait a minute. He's got 900 gallons of water right here. But how much electricity or water
That's
changes
a good point. I don't
or any
consider
of that
this
kind
a
of
fish
stuff?
room.
Right. This isn't a fish room because you got one. You
Yeah.
just got one aquarium.
Well, there's a 5-gallon right here.
And
but I still don't
know,
consider
what
it a
are
fish room.
these? This is
Yeah, these things.
this is chaos.
So apparently at 3, I still don't consider this a fish room, but that's probably because I have more tanks in a different room.
Right, in the other room. Yeah.
But I don't consider that one a fish room either. That one has 2. Actually has 3.
What if it was like the only one?
I keep thinking I have way less tanks than I do. Like, oh yeah, extra 3. Well, hold on. If you include that,
Let's say, well, you know, I just throw it in.
yeah,
You know.
you know, yeah.
So, but like I was saying, you know, with the 800 there, it's like, well, exactly, you know, how much electricity are you using? Because you're really only running like 2 little pumps, a filter,
yeah.
2 LED lights, and it only like a couple of things. So you're actually not using up a ton of power in relation to,
Yeah,
you know,
there's
the
a couple of
amount of-
heaters, a couple of things, but like definitely less than like, let's say 800 watts.
right.
Whereas if you had, let's break that down into like 40 breeders. If I had 40 breeders, same amount of water, definitely. Well,
Way
I won't
more
say
power.
definitely because technically
Well, even if you just put,
it depends on how you run it. That's
even
why
if-
we're talking about.
that's
it.
why we're going to talk about
Yeah.
it. But like, if you just put a heater in each one,
Oh, for sure.
oh man, you'd go
That'd be
flying
way more.
You'd go flying right off the charts. If you put a
Yeah.
hang-on back
You put
filter,
a 100-watt heater in each one, and you got 20 of those things. That's 2,000 watts.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a full 20 amp circuit maxed out.
maxed out.
And that's
And
not even
you-
what your home has. Your home's got 15 amp, most likely.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really one of those things that,
Commercial,
like,
man.
if you know, so that's a lot of the variances that go into like what you could be setting up, what you could be doing, some of the stuff that you need to you know, that you would need to take into account if you were going to set up a big fish room. Now, the reason I wanted to get into this topic is that and I can't remember the name. I think it's Sky Astara. I'm not sure who sent it in. I think that's who sent it in. I might be wrong.
I got no idea. On
But
that one.
was asking about air pumps in setting up a big fish room, and I was like, oh, you know what? I bet there are quite a few people out there that are going like, I'm gonna set up a big fish room, and I haven't seen a ton of like build threads out there that were really straightforward about, you know, some of the ins and outs. Obviously, some of the
like, do you build a loop or not a loop?
yeah, some of the
stuff like
mistakes
that.
and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So we're going to try and run through a bit of those things to take into consideration if you were going to be setting up a bunch of tanks in a room, for instance. Some of the stuff that you could do to definitely save money, save time and headaches and hassles and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to talk about that, and we don't necessarily have a video, but my initial response to I think it was Sky Star that sent it in. I might be misquoting, but it wasn't like in person, so
Yeah.
I don't feel super bad. But it sucks when I don't remember
You better
who
feel
sent something
semi-bad.
in. What's that?
You got to feel semi-bad.
I feel semi-bad, yes.
All right.
But that she was going to be setting up a bunch of tanks and stuff like that, is what she's going to be doing. And she was asking, hey, I'm looking for like what the air pump is, and it doesn't seem, because she was like, it didn't seem like there was a lot of informative videos and stuff out there. And I
There's
said,
not.
you know, we're going to be making one, but I don't know when that's going to come out or anything like that. So today I wanted to be able to just give out some verbal explanation of some of the things.
We can make that video. I own a lot of fish room air pumps. I own
Right, but
at least 3 different styles.
That's right. So the thing was, is I was going, I don't know when that video is going to come out, so I did want to get some information out there.
Yeah.
And then go,
That's a
hey,
good video.
there'll be a video at some point. And
Yeah.
because I was like, you know, what's our production schedule? I don't know. And it was also kind of one of those things that like, I don't know when that'll happen. And if it's like February 10th or something, then it's like,
You mark it on your calendar.
It's been a really long time
February
since you
10th.
said you guys were going to make a video, and it, because I know how that is. When I sit at home and I'm like,
I promise nothing ever. They're like, are you gonna do a show
it's
tomorrow?
been 4
Don't know.
days. It's been 4 days, and then it's like, it's been 10 days.
The worst thing is if you're actually wanting to build a fish room and you're like, February 10th?
Like, that's crazy.
I'm in the middle of it now.
These guys took forever.
Yeah.
So I just
tell
wanted
me
to
what
get
I
a
need to know, man.
little bit of information out there to go like, okay, here's at least what you could look up and stuff like that, and look into some of the things. But I want to grab this super chat here real quick. Michael Agostino saying, "Love all the helps, guys. Love all the help, guys. Thanks a lot. You've made this hobby so much easier. Also, thanks for the multiple tank syndrome addiction."
Oh, yeah.
You're very welcome.
soul claim.
It's like, well, I've got 2 tanks. I bet you I could probably, I could fit one over here. Probably. I see some unoccupied real estate that maybe probably needs another fish tank. You know what I'm saying? I always been thinking about doing a Shelly, and I don't have a shell dweller tank. I'll do some multis or something like that. I know how that. I know how that is, guys. Which is why I have a fish room myself, because I can't go past the fish room.
Right.
Other than the pond stuff and all that, but that's different. That's a different project altogether, but that's one of the big reasons. Michael Faulkner had a super chat, so let's grab that real quick, and then we'll start to talk about some of the stuff, and we'll start with air pumps. I think that's where we'll start at.
Sure.
And we'll go from there, and we'll talk about heating. Let's talk about ambient heating,
Another person
dehumidifier,
asked- yeah,
and a
another
couple
person
other
asked about
things.
that. Yep.
And then
Which
we'll
I think
just,
ties into heating,
We'll go
too.
into the natural flow of what happened after that. I don't know. Ninjas, karate, chocolate.
Restaurando.
But Michael Faulkner says, a little off topic, but looking for suggestions for fish friends for a flower horn, if any. Almost ready to start a fish room, so great tips and advice.
I would say oversized aquarium, and then try like Red Devil / Midas, like other big, brutish fish that can hold off the onslaught of a flower horn if it's onslaughting.
It's gonna be
That's where I've seen
it's gonna
the
be a
combos
good
work.
luck situation, because
You can also try like a gaggle of silver dollars at the 6-inch mark.
with flower horns, I would normally, this is just me. Flower horns, I would normally keep them in a pair only tank, male and a female.
Maybe, but
And then-
sometimes they even beat their ladies down.
Yeah, well, once
Or
they
the
breed,
male-
then
or
it's
the
like,
female beats the
you gotta
male
go
down.
over here, bud. Sorry.
But yeah, kind of a more of a solo specimen. I mean, they're kind of kept that way at stores. They're meant to be kept that way. They purposely breed very aggressive fish into them, so they have. That's where the tons of personality comes from. Is like they just want to bite you in the nose. But yeah, oversized tank with stuff that either A can hold its own without killing it. Like I wouldn't put it with like a full-grown doveye. The doveye would probably just whip its butt. And I wouldn't put it with
Probably.
like an Oscar where it's like, oh god, I'm just getting beat on by Oscar. Oh, I'm just dopey. I'm just quit it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
No, not again. So I would get, either something super quick like silver dollars that dart around, and they're already big, not snack size.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mistake people make. They're like, he said get silver dollars, so I went to Petco and I brought some ones that big. He ate them.
And they were eaten.
Like, well, yeah, you need like boom, biggins
You need big ones.
to get their run on. So that's, and you got to do a little bit of brain learning there. Like you might learn that you've got the most wicked flower horn ever that beats on everything, or he could care less. So until you start, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know, like, oh man, he's chill. Like, yeah, he lives with these rainbow fish. It's super cool. Like, yeah, I'm super jealous now.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I would say, honestly, with the flower horn, I would personally just keep it in its own tank. I mean,
I gotta be
That's
honest.
what
I'm
I
a
would
guy
do.
that likes to mix everything.
that's what I would do. Just, I wouldn't want to deal with the hassle and the headache.
If it was me, I would have a bunch of tanks because it's me, and then I would try it, and then if it didn't get along, I'd be like, nope, never again. Live your life of solitude. But I'd give it the
Right.
chance once,
Okay, yeah, I see where you're at.
just because what if it's like a match made in heaven? Like, oh, all right then, that cool.
Yeah.
But knowing full ahead, like, oh yeah, that, yeah, it's probably not gonna work.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Try a divider first too. Like put yourself some egg crate in there.
Mm-hmm.
Put your flower horn on one side and whatever else on the other side. And if they just like act like they're kind of not even there, you might be good. But if like one's face is like all chewed up because it's trying to get through it so hard to beat on the other one, you know, he probably wants to beat on that thing.
Could
He's trying
be.
to punch his way through a wall. That's a sign of aggression.
Could be problematic. That's
Yeah.
for sure. So, okay. Well, let's jump into air pumps here. And a lot of people have asked over the years, like, how do you put these things together? How do you do this stuff? I've done a lot of plumbing for them. And more often than not, in the past, most of them that I've done were done with forced air fans that were done in another room,
Like a blower.
like a blower. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is sort of the old archaic way of doing it. And more often than not, when I was
Jimmy over there?
involved in that, what's that?
Is Jimmy over there?
I don't know.
All right.
Jiminy.
I was going to tell Jimmy just to go grab the blower. Like,
Is
that
there-
one's sitting over there.
Oh, you got a blower?
I can go grab one if you want to keep talking.
Where's it at?
I'll just go grab it. You keep talking.
I gotta plug in my phone.
You want me to plug it in?
Yeah, it's over by where my tools are at. But at that point in time, it was mainly we were just doing it with a blower because that's typically what the store owner or the fish room keeper had. They weren't going to order a new pump, a new air pump or anything like that. So, and I would say personally that the blowers don't necessarily work out the way that they're intended to, follow through, if that makes sense. And they generally have more problems than need be, mainly because one of the reasons that they pull a lot of air in, they collect a lot of dust. There are a lot of bearings in there that can fail along those lines and stuff like that. Oh yeah, blower action.
Yeah, here's a blower.
Yeah.
Nice and light. Not light.
Yes, he's got a blower right here.
You can actually install them this way or this way. You can run them both ways, but
Yeah. They actually are quite heavy, first of all, as you could tell, Corey, under the strain. They do pull
I'd
in
say it's like 20 or 30 pounds.
they do pull in a lot of material, and they end up having a quite a bit of issues over the years, whether it be bearing related.
Yeah, usually this one's missing them. You run a big old pre-filter. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have a big filter on them and stuff like that, and they end up having problems. So one of the big things that has come up, as Emerald Pets is asking, I was considering a linear piston pump.
Yeah, I got one of those too. I can
These
go
aren't.
grab.
I wouldn't necessarily say that these are new, like to the world.
Linear piston pumps?
Linear piston pumps are. I wouldn't say they're new, like to the world. They've been being
No.
used a lot, but maybe 10, 15 years they've been coming into the aquarium hobby. Like I think somebody figured out, like,
Yeah.
oh hey, wait, check this out. This is awesome.
The original air pumps came from like whatever the cow milking machines were. And that's actually that technology I feel is like pretty close to linear air piston pump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did we want to show them how loud a blower is?
I don't want to hear how loud.
All
it
right,
is.
then you guys don't get to hear how loud a blower is. When we make that video,
Have you ever heard loud noises? That's what it sounds like.
have you ever vacuumed your house before?
Have you ever vacuumed your
That's
house?
what this thing sounds like.
Yeah.
Like, why does it sound like? That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're
So I wanna
loud.
set this down.
They're very difficult to rebuild,
I've never
and-
rebuilt one, so I don't know.
and I'm not guaranteeing that will happen, but I'm pretty darn sure that will come up. That it will need to be
Yeah.
rebuilt, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
If
You gotta
anybody out
balance
there has
fan
ever
blades
rebuilt
and-
hydraulics before, it's like rebuilding hydraulics. It's a kind of a nightmare of tiny little rings and nonsense, and really easy to miss one little thing, you know.
That darn sprocket.
So it's not necessarily worth it, but the I would say that if you were thinking about running a big fish room, I would just make the commitment to get like an Alita pump. That's
So the Elitas, I have
that's
one of
what I
those
would do.
Also,
what's that?
I have an Alita as well. That's outside running some ponds.
Mhm.
That is technically a like commercial grade strength diaphragm pump, technically,
Right.
which was my first air pump I ever bought for my fish room. It was $300 and some.
Mhm.
So not the cheapest option. It is kind of loud. But that being said, the internet put the fear in me. They're like, that's a diaphragm pump. When it breaks down, what you gonna do? Like linear air piston pumps, they never break down. And so I was like, oh my God, I better get me a linear air piston pump. That being said, 12 years later, still never had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, sure. I mean, and it's been outside for 3 years at this point. So, like, it's not
Right.
even, it's getting rained on. Like, it's living the worst life you could live as a diaphragm pump.
Yep.
Sitting in the sun, baking, doing all those things. And 12 years in, I got to say, that pump
It's
done me
frozen
right.
cold right now.
Yeah, it's freezing.
It literally was leaking the other day.
The pump was?
Yeah.
You were looking at it?
No, I went to fix it.
Oh.
And you know how I fixed it? I put the tube back on it.
Oh,
It was rocket surgery, I'm telling you, man. My mind was blown. I was like, I don't know how we're ever going to get over this hill.
some raccoon probably was like, hey, what does this thing do?
So it yeah, it was well, no, I mean just the rubber hose actually had become brittle. So actually I just took the hose off, cut it down, and then put the clamp back on it and was like, oh, yeah, there we go.
So 3 years of the sun finally broke down a
It's-
little bit of the rubber.
The rubber.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with the pump. It's
Yeah.
the rubber on the outside.
They do have the rebuild kit for the Elitas. I never
Right.
bought one though, and they're $75, so know that, or at
Mm-hmm.
least that's what it was last time I looked it up. And I still have never needed one. So I'm just saying,
Right.
the internet was leading me with fear because everyone's like, "Oh
Right.
my God,
Oh my
you,
God.
you don't have a backup
Yeah.
$300 pump, and you didn't buy the rebuild kit yet." Like
The
these
big
things break
thing
every time
the
you
big
look
thing
at
for
them.
me is that the track record with the Elitas is the big thing for me. Is that they just run. Like it's just what
From
they
my
do.
experience, that seems to be true. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's why I would say if you could go that route, that's sort of, and when I say go that route, it's like it is a little more money. It's a little more money than, say, like an Aqueon air pump or something like that. It's
Let me see how much one is. I'm looking one up while you talk.
okay. And then the linear piston pump. Which one do you have over there? That's in the fish room right now.
I've got two different ones, but they're both from Gemco.
Oh, they're the Gemco ones.
Yeah, I think it's like one's a LPH 120 and one of them's an LPH 60.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking up the Elita
Yeah.
pump right
So
now
those are
just to see.
the linear pistons are more expensive than
Well, that's
Are they?
that's this Elita air pump on Amazon, the 60
Mhm.
is $179.95.
okay.
Much less than when I bought it from Angels Plus, by the way, 12 years ago. Angels Plus, how dare you?
Yeah.
12 years of use. Clearly would have been the same price. Yeah. Whereas Gemco, I want to say I just quoted someone where I was like, yeah, you should go buy this one. This is the one I think you need.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was $199.99.
Oh, so it's about the same.
Yeah, that's where I was. And that's where it comes down to, like,
Okay.
wait, so I can get a linear air piston pump that, like, I've only ever actually met one person ever once that had one repaired, but they bought it used, and it wasn't performing as well as it could have, and then they fixed it, and it got better. It never quit working, and they don't know how it was used. Like, for all we know, it was like, oh, yeah, we run that one underwater, you know,
Yeah,
or like
something-
some horrible use case that
Driving
we
it-
don't know. But I've
driving
never
over it.
met someone that owns a fish room, bought one new, and has ever had to have it serviced.
Okay.
So yeah, let's see here.
All right,
On
so I was-
sale, $200. LPH 45.
Okay.
The LPH 60 is $250.
Okay. So the 60.
Yeah.
That's
but
kind of the
it all
mid-range
depends.
one.
I mean, linear
so
air piston pumps are good.
it is a little more expensive, but that's kind of what I was thinking. I
They're
thought the
more
linears.
energy efficient though too.
I thought the linears were more. I thought the linears were more in the lines of like $299, $350.
They used to be.
Okay.
And some of the big ones definitely are. They've been
It's
making
been a
some bigger
super-
and bigger ones.
Super long time since I bought it.
Yeah. Because once you buy one, you're like, oh, I have the pump I'll need forever.
Yeah.
Because they don't break down.
Okay.
So
So,
Yeah.
what did we learn today?
that
I was close, but no cigar. But I was close either way. But
Yeah.
in the main reason for getting a large use air pump like this would be to actually run what's called a manifold. And a manifold just means that there's multiple outlets for your air lines. Oftentimes people go, oh, I don't understand what stainless steel one that I should buy. Don't buy a stainless steel one.
You could.
You can,
but
it's not
you're
going to
really
be,
not doing what you need to do.
it's not going to be necessarily the function that you're looking for with like a large fish room like we're talking about today. Those little stainless steel manifolds will be fantastic if you were to run like 6 tanks, 8 tanks or something like that, and you wanted to just run some individual lines and hide them somewhere. That can be a reasonable way to do it. The only problem with that is that you always want to make sure that the pump is higher than the tank.
Well,
because
the manifold has to be higher than the tank.
Well, you can back siphon water out of the tank.
A crazy series of events,
which I've seen happen,
could happen, but I think there's a better reason to put the pump up high.
Sometimes trains just fall off into the freeway.
True.
So that's what I'm saying. You would want to try to make sure.
I think there's a better reason to put it up high, though.
What do you got?
It pulls in your warmest air in your fish room and puts it back and distributes it off the ceiling. That's the better, instead of just telling people...
Distributes?
Distributes, how dare you.
Distributes?
Yes. Sometimes there's a leg. Sometimes, I don't really run at 2K streaming capabilities through the brain. If I was at 1080, wouldn't have had that problem, but we're at 2K right now, so then there's a little bit of lag up here.
That's right.
But I find a lot of times when you tell people yeah, it could back siphon, and then they're like, nah, man, I put it on an uninterruptible power source and did all these things and blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, but the real it was so much more efficient just to mount it up high, and that's why, because you can pull in hot air off the ceiling, put it back through the tanks, and it's a good way to circulate that air through the tank, and you're doing double duty. You don't got to run any kind of water check valves on that thing. You don't got to worry about a lot of things, and mounting it up high is just good practice, and it gets it out of the way.
And it gets it out of the way. Yeah.
There's times you kick it and you're like, what do you mean you kicked it loose? And then you walked out the door and then all the fish died.
Yeah. But the main reason that we want to do the air pump is to be able to add sponge filters to every single aquarium. It is essentially, realistically, it is the best way for a large fish room in order to keep isolated filtration to individual tanks and not kill yourself with either your electric bill or even just the purchase of a bunch of hang-on back filters or any of that kind of stuff. Most sponge filters for a smaller tank come in at about the $3.99 to $8.99 range, so you're looking at about $4 to $9 a piece. Whereas even if you wanted to go with like AquaClear 20s, just pretty much their nice standard small one,
still like $20.
They're still like $29 or something like that.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Sometimes you can get them on sale for like 22 or 23.
And you run into problems. You got to plug them all in. I'm too
That's
far
what I'm
away
saying
from
with
an
the
outlet. Now I
electric-
just have one more thing to catch on fire.
Yeah, and with the electric bill, it's going to be a considerable amount because in a large fish room, you do want to keep your filtration isolated to each aquarium because, for instance, if you have like 40 tanks set up, you're probably going to have different water parameters here, different water parameters there. You also don't want to spread disease between all of your breeding projects or any of that kind of stuff. So it is really important to have separate filtration, and one of the big reasons for that would be, or one of the best ways to do it, one of the best ways to do that would be an air pump with sponge filters. Maybe someday there'll be a better way to do it, but that currently is just the best way.
I'd be hard up to do it.
Individualize it.
Because when the power goes out, hooking up one air pump, way better.
Maybe someday
there'll
be a better way.
Couldn't happen.
Yeah, like iPhones.
I refuse to entertain the idea.
Because you remember in 1998, you're like, this internet thing is stupid. AOL's dumb.
Yeah.
There's no way anybody will ever be doing this.
To be fair, AOL is still dumb.
It's still around and still dumb, yes. But you never thought there would be anything better. Like, this is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
I guess hopefully that at least explains some of the filtration stuff, but you build a manifold out of basic PVC parts that you can get at any hardware store.
Yep.
The
I've
valves.
got a dedicated video to that.
Corey has a dedicated video for building
It's
that.
super
those
boring unless you
manifolds.
actually want to build one.
Right. So you can actually check out that kind of detailed manifold building. It actually is pretty cheap, and like I said, most everything you can get right at the hardware store. Somebody there can, tow you around. You're looking for a 1-inch pipe or a 3/4 inch pipe, just depending on what you're going. The linear piston pump. One of the upsides to that is that it will keep pressure throughout the whole chain. Is one of the cool things
It's
that it does.
designed to really keep pressure up,
Yeah.
where a blower,
Now,
not as much.
one of the big things that somebody was recently asking is how are you going to heat it? One of the big situations with a fish room, and you do have kind of a dedicated fish room, is that you want to actually keep the room heated, right? Barring anything needing to be exceedingly warm, right?
I find it like
unless something
1,500 watts.
Needs to be like really, really warm. You might want to
Yeah,
add
I've got
a
some
heater.
plecos that would like to be warmer, and I do
Right.
heat them from time to time.
Yeah, so from time to time you might need to add an individual heater to a tank here and there, but your best bet is just to actually heat the room. If you're like me and you built out your own fish room, hey, how you doing? What's up? That's what I do. That's how I roll. Made sure that
Not all of us can live your life, man.
I made sure that every wall
Jet
was.
skiing, building.
Hey, man, come
can't
on,
you
man. I made sure that every wall was well insulated, and actually, I don't actually have to heat that room because
Dang.
it's
I'm always
heated.
jealous when I run into people who are like, yeah, it does its thing.
Well, it's actually heated by the heaters in my large aquariums.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
yeah, I do have 3 really large not really large, not that
So
large.
large.
So big. Most
Yeah.
people think they're big. It's one of them's a 240-gallon aquarium, but it does have a 200-watt heater in it, which does add some ambient temperature to the room. And my fish room is big tanks. That's what I wanted to do in my fish room. I got really stressed out from having a whole lot of nano tanks and all these different projects
freaking
going
out,
on all the
man.
time. So I built out my room personally so that I would have a space that I could maintain and continue to work on, and not ever really lose track of what I was doing and stuff like that. Because I do have so many projects going on all the time, it is easy for me to really fall far behind on a lot of tanks. But if I do, for instance, like let's say I fall behind by like 4 days or something, I can go, if I got an hour, I can go get all my maintenance done on all my tanks, because more often than not, I can do most of the maintenance like on multiple at the same time, kind of like doing a water change, because I'll do a water change and then drop
This
that over, do
guy.
a water change, drop that over, do a water
You can
change.
multitask as
I
well.
can multitask, bro.
God, what can't he do?
Oh God! But that was the reason why I set my tank up that way, or my room that
Yeah.
way, because heating it like that. If I had a lot of small aquariums in there, what I would actually do is run a heater to heat the room.
Yeah.
It might be a gas heater. I know some fancy pants,
I
McGee's.
did upgrade to natural gas
Yeah.
heatings, and the main reason for that actually was when the power goes out, I still have natural gas heating.
Yeah, so you
that
don't
was
have to worry about
that
it.
was it cost me $5,000. This is no joke here. Like, it was a long run and all that. Like, I'm dedicated to heating some fish tanks. But for a long time in my fish rooms before that, I would use one of those oil-filled heaters, like they look like a radiator, like the old radiator heaters that would be in buildings. You plug one of those in, you can set them to like use 900 watts or 1500 watts or whatever, and they would cycle on and off heating the oil inside that thing, and then you put a fan on it to blow it around.
Yeah.
And that's how I would get through the super cold months. Because during the other months, if it wasn't super cold, my dehumidifier would crank out enough heat to keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And always remember that a dehumidifier is going to be really important for your fish room. So that is something that you definitely need to include within your build. If you are building out a fish room and you're going to be putting in a whole bunch of aquariums and that kind of stuff, it's important to remember that it's our responsibility to like not rot the building and have it fall down because it's just
Especially
too
if
wet.
you're a renter. I mean, if you're an owner, you can make that decision. Like,
If
nah,
you're an
I wanna see
owner-
this thing fall over.
Well, it's one of those things. It's like if you're an owner and let's say you're going to set up 50 tanks, and $300 of your budget needs to go to a dehumidifier. Basically, what you're doing is making sure that you're just
It's actually really efficient because drier air
And you're
heats
just-
easier.
Yeah,
and
heats easier.
there's
Does
a
all that
bunch
kind of stuff,
reasons.
and you're also insuring, a little more insurance towards your investment.
It's
right?
it's one of those things like spend $300 to recoup $300 over months or years. It's a sound investment. There's a lot of things to spend money on, but in my opinion, in a fish room, decent air pump and dehumidifier, basically non-negotiables.
right.
Like they're a must-have for me. And
Like-
like I know Steamfight Aquatics was like so anti-dehumidifier, and then he got one. He's like, oh man, this thing's awesome. Like
Oh, this
I
is
I
great.
got to unplug all my heaters, and there's no humidity anymore. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like
It's the whole
make it more
point.
efficient.
Right.
Yeah, when it comes to heat, I'm big on a watt of energy is a watt of heat.
Right.
Like for the most part. So if you've got 1,000 watts in lighting, it's like you have 1,000-watt heater running
Right.
for the hours those lights are on. Mm-hmm. So if you've got like 500 watts from a dehumidifier, 100 watts from your air pump, and you've got 300 more watts from your lights, all of a sudden you're going, hey, we're creeping up on quite a bit of heat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then in the summer, creeping up on quite a bit of heat.
I'm creeping up on
You
quite
know,
a
that's
bit.
kind of one of those things you got to manage from the season to season.
Right.
So,
And we do have a super chat from Jim Meeker here. Joel now has 199 patronizers. We need one more to make the 200 gallon or the 200 goal. If you can, please become a patron. Oh, thank you very much, Jim. And I noticed that a bunch of people are celebrating in the chat. We hit 200 patronizers, which means now Corey
has to come up with a crazy contest.
come up
thing,
with the
or
crazy
a crazy
contest.
giveaway thing.
the crazy giveaway thing. But
I don't know what it is yet.
we do have to remember that the Patreon is monthly, right?
Yeah.
The Patreon is monthly, so we do need to maintain those patronizers until the end of the month. So we actually
Maybe
do have,
January 1st after the other contest ends. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
yeah. So that's what's going to go on.
And then we give it away February 1st. That way we make sure we got $1 out of them.
Well, you can do it like January 7th or something.
Yeah, it depends. I gotta think of something pretty cool.
Something cool.
Not like, oh yeah, one lucky patron wins $1.
yeah, $1.
Yeah, I'll think of something cool like I probably have some swag kicking around that like money can't buy. Like, oh, that was a one-of thing we did, or something
Oh, yeah.
cool, like something
That'd
where
be
it's
cool.
like, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that exists. Like, there's some very old school buttons with aquarium co-op that are like super
Tell you what.
collectible. Yeah,
I'm gonna put that blower in a Fitz It Ships box. No, I'm just kidding.
we might be able to make that happen. Who needs a blower? Random blowers.
Who needs a blower? We're
After
gonna
we
Fitz
gotta-
It Ships box. We're gonna send it out. UPS
We gotta make the video
or
first, though.
USPS is gonna be super mad.
We gotta make the video first because
Yeah.
I don't want to have to buy another blower to make a video.
Well, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Well, we could ship that out.
We'll do whatever we're gonna do.
It'd be hilarious when like the nano person wins it.
Right.
What? This thing's bigger than the aquarium? Nah, just hook it up. It's
Yeah,
cool.
just hook it. You good?
Yep.
Solid.
Yeah.
Strong. Power.
We'll think of something though. We'll think of something fun and cool, and yeah, it'll be cool.
I don't know
Forget
what
about
button. I don't know what that button does on your mouse, but I accidentally clicked it.
Oh no!
Uh-oh. Now we're on fire.
800 gallons draining now. I just have it on.
Why is it on the mouse?
Yeah, well,
it
you
seems
know.
so irresponsible.
I don't know. I just know it's there. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, you guys. We hit 200 patronizers. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
I'll be doing a video on that a bit tomorrow because I'll be back in my studio down in Tacoma, Washington. I'll be down there tomorrow. I've got a ton of stuff to do.
Yeah, like
Manny
jet
Carolio
skiing,
says
apparently.
250 by the end of the year. I would like to hit 250 by the end of the year.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
I don't know how we make that happen yet. I mean, besides asking you guys, that's super cool. How can
Yeah.
we do that? I mean, I've already got like a giant contest running to help.
There's a big thing running, so I hope we hit 250 by the end of the year. I have noticed that, my lady and a few other people have been sharing stuff onto Facebook.
Yeah, about the Patreon.
It actually pretty easy. It actually is pretty easy to share the Patreon onto Facebook. I was surprised. I was like, oh wow, that looks correct.
Didn't even take ninja skills.
Yeah, it didn't take ninja skills or anything like that. So, it's very much appreciated, you guys. Like I said, this is an ongoing project. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna keep working on this stuff. you know, like I've been saying since the beginning, like when we started the Patreon and stuff, and I started doing this live show, I'm like, I'll be getting more people on the show. We'll be doing more things. We'll be bringing more projects. We'll be bringing more videos and all that kind of stuff. That is what's going on, and we're literally covered in drywall dust because of you guys, because of the community. We're trying to do more stuff. I know that Corey and I, we have nothing really to tell you yet because we can't spoil our surprises. We can't spoil them. You know what I'm saying? We can't spoil them surprises. And but we do have a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe, and I'm pretty excited. 2018 is going to be the World Domination Tour, just like
or Real Fish Talk Extinction. Either one.
Poison.
We're going, you know, going as hard as we can.
We'll see.
We either make it or we break it. Make it or break it.
We'll make it.
2018 is make it or break it.
We'll
for Real
make
Fish
it
Talk.
or we'll snap it in half and
yeah.
Just
worst case scenario, you get a video of destroying a building.
We'll become into what's the word we're looking for?
Kwanzaa?
We'll just throw it all away and then we'll go. We'll be exploratory miners, right? We'll be like digging in the ground looking for.
This sounds like physical work.
What's a
I don't do
mineral
that.
that's important? We'll look for platinum. We'll be like
Tanzanite.
Look, yeah, we're looking for Tanzanite. Yeah, I think it's around somewhere.
Yeah,
it's around the bend.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll just get a
Tanzanite.
sweet van and just be driving around.
Yeah,
down by rivers, taking naps.
My wife is like looming. I don't know what's going on over here. I don't know. Sure.
Secrets. I don't know. Maybe.
We got work to do, but I don't know.
We got really good dinner. Yeah, I'll probably be
Yeah,
here for a while.
we
I gotta fix that hole in the wall.
Do awesome dinner with us then.
Oh,
maybe.
All right.
Okay, do you like mashed potatoes or roasted potatoes?
My God.
I'm gonna do both, so.
Well, then it doesn't matter.
Well, then it doesn't matter.
My wife just barging in with the
Yeah,
dinner
put the
talk.
roasted potato on the mashed potato.
Yeah.
That's too
I like roasted
Is it
mashed
too much? Oh,
potatoes,
sorry.
please.
much.
Over the line. All right.
We don't do that in this house.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna abide by the rules. I'm gonna break those rules.
I don't want to have to deal with that tomorrow.
I like the holes in the wall.
There's a lot of holes in the wall over there.
Yeah, I noticed that.
All new wall going in.
Yep. All new walls all the time.
Hot and fresh right off the presses.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, so we'll be here fixing some holes. We'll become prospectors I guess if everybody just goes away, we'll become prospectors.
Tanzanite. That's where it's at.
That sounds
I
kind
don't
of
even know if
depressing.
that's a real thing, actually. Tanzanite.
We'd rather be fish prospectors, right?
Do we want to finish up
Whoa.
Fish Room Talk on Friday? Because you'll be over here
Yeah.
Friday. We could, like, hit up all the other things with the fish room we haven't even touched on yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We can talk about
All right.
stands and a couple other things and some reasonable companies out there. Maybe if you're looking to source tanks or this or that or any of
Sure.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll definitely run into that kind of stuff. Like Marty Logan saying, "Where's a good place to find aquarium stands that are not $1 million?"
Cinder blocks, Broham.
We'll be able to hit up some of those options. Marty says, "I'm not that handy cutting fingers off. Actually, I'd love to build myself."
You've got a
If
video
you've
on
been
that.
following me for very long, you'd know that I cut my thumb off earlier this year.
I'm hoping
but
we
the
can get
ding
through this
dang
build.
thing be growing back, man.
I'm hoping we
What
can
up
get through
now?
this build and you'll still be alive.
That's right.
Seen the track record.
That's one of the tricks of the trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Half zombie, half ghost, half man. Oh, I do have to tell the quick story here of last night, because some people were saying this morning, "Wow, Joel looks super tired," and I will admit, yes, I am
look super
super
tired?
tired today. Not only just because of the work and the commute and all that kind of stuff, but
You don't enjoy crawling around in the attic?
I could not sleep last night.
Oh.
I kept having all these crazy dreams about this little space alien that was saying, what was he saying?
Chattanooga?
No, it was like, it wasn't placebo, but it was like a PLA word, something.
Plakat?
I'll think about it. I'll think about what it was, but it was weird. And this morning, like, I finally got to sleep for a little while, and then at 5:07 a.m., it like yelled at me, and I went, "Huh!" And then I was just awake, and then I couldn't go to sleep. I sat there for like 23 minutes, then my alarm went off, and I was like, yeah, I've been up this whole time. Shut up, alarm. You stupid. You don't even know.
I feel bad because then you had to come here.
No, it was fine. I mean, I normally get up at 5:30, but I just couldn't sleep last night. I don't know why. I kept having these weird, like, dreams that this alien was talking to me. It was super bizarre.
Maybe it's like the alien or patron's past.
Aliens of patrons, patronizers past.
Yes.
I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, I was a little bit tired this morning, and now everything's fine. So,
Little
'cause
wackadoo.
we've been punching drywall and doing all that kind of stuff, and get the blood flowing. Get back. Corey's over there drilling glass like a man, doing man stuff.
We
And,
were quite mannish.
so
Wall
we'll be-
coming down, drilling, and a dump run simultaneously happening.
yeah.
Like, we're not messing around. It's not like, so what you think we should do today? It's like, you aren't actively doing something. You're doing that. Now
Yeah.
you're doing that.
You
I'm
do
doing
that thing.
this.
I'll do this thing.
You need a
All
hand
right.
with that? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but thank you very much, everybody, for coming out today. What was our top?
182.
I was just like 182 all the time. Is that what we're doing now? 182?
182, man. I don't know. Yeah.
Slow Tuesday. We're having a slow Tuesday, you guys. What
Yeah.
happened? Oh,
don't-
man.
Maybe they're all eating tacos.
They're probably all
but
out
if-
eating tacos.
I feel like for eating tacos, you'd be listening.
Well, they might be like, hey, man, I don't know if anybody else would want to listen to this while I'm out here eating tacos.
I don't think that's an excuse because I routinely watch live streams where I can't hear what the people in the live stream are saying. I'm just typing in chat.
Oh, yeah. That's a
Like,
good
I
point.
routinely
Yeah.
don't listen to what anyone's saying at all. I'm just trolling chat.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we said, we hit 200 patronizers. I will be talking about that more at length a bit tomorrow in regards to what that means for you guys. What does that mean? What does that mean for the patronizers? Not only does it mean that Corey will be giving out 20 $50
Gift cards.
gift cards.
And a 2/3 eaten thing of strawberry Mentos.
I need one of those.
All right.
Oh, I need the fresh maker.
I'm going to have one too.
I've never
Sending
had this.
it over.
I've never had
this one over.
But I will be talking a little bit tomorrow what that means for the patronizers. Not only is that
This is Jimmy's
$20,
candy.
$50 gift cards, you guys got your entry code off of the Patreon, which helps give you a couple extra points towards winning them prizes, which I have to admit, I kind of want a $50 gift card to the Coop because I was down at the Coop.
Good luck, bro.
Like probably, what's the word? I was maybe like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks
Like
ago.
a fortnight ago.
A fortnight.
Yeah.
Make it a fortnight when it
Yes.
was back twixt when the moon was waxing. I was down there, and I have to admit, I was like, whoa, there's a bunch of cool stuff here I want to get. So,
You know.
I would be down for one of those, and but I can't be in the contest. I can't win it. So,
You can be
luckily,
in it,
you
you
guys
just
get
can't
to
win
win that. And then, did you have some kind of secret prize thing you were gonna do? Is that what I was picking up on? Mm-hmm. Secret
Yeah.
surprises.
In addition to that,
Maybe I have a secret surprise too. You guys should tune in
maybe
tomorrow
we'll
for
collaborate
that.
with a secret prize.
You guys should tune in tomorrow for that. In the meantime, we will pick up
They
this.
said tune in for a nap. I was like, oh yeah?
Tune in for a nap.
I'm going to sleep. You guys are going to watch me.
Tune in for Corey to nap. Ah, I got a big
I
splinter
was
in
going
my
to say,
finger.
I'm like, it looks like the dam just started. He's like ripping his finger off.
But tomorrow I will be talking about what it means that we hit the $200 mark. So check that out tomorrow. In the meantime, tonight, share this out on Facebook. Blow it up on YouTube's. Blow it up on Super Chat. Blow it up on Vine. Blow it up on AOL. Blow it up on Twitter.
Vine 2.0. It's
Blow it
coming,
up
bro. It's
on-
a thing.
Snapchat. Blow it up. What's another thing?
Dig.
Beam. Dig. Vimeo. Is Vimeo still around? Is that around?
Ooh, blow it up on Tinder.
Blow it up on Tinder. Yeah, throw this up on Tinder.
That's how that any dating site, put us in the profile. I guarantee you, if they still want to connect with you after looking at what we are, you're golden.
You'll be
That's a
good
good
to go.
choice.
You'll be good to go.
Yeah, we're a metric for that.
But everybody have a fantastic night out there. Don't shoot any fireworks off in your living room. That's absurd.
Save it
Don't
for
shoot
the
them off
bathtub.
outside either. maybe in your hot tub or your bathtub.
Ooh. Yeah,
If you have a
maybe.
hot tub where your bathtub goes, that might be a decent move. All right.
Yeah.
Don't be too crazy out there. Drive safe, everybody, and have a fantastic night. Later.